Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. Gloria stops Lois from revealing the truth. Lois is stopped by, spoiler, from telling Brooklyn the truth. And Drew and Tracy declare war today on General Hospital. Carly gives Sasha some advice. Jason tries to talk sense into Charlotte, and Lulu and Dante reconnect. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. Down in Buenos Aires, Jason, Anna, and Charlotte return to a hotel room. Charlotte blames Anna for her father having to run for his life. Anna tells Charlotte there is a lot she doesn't understand, but Charlotte says she sent the WSB after her father and has ruined both her and her father's lives. Charlotte screams, "I hate you." Jason intercedes and asks for a moment alone with Charlotte. Anna excuses herself, and Jason tells Charlotte that Anna is the only reason she and her dad are still alive. He explains that Anna was the one who warned her dad that he was in trouble in Port Charles, and she was the one who let her and her dad escape. He says Anna's been protecting the both of them, and she deserves a little respect. Charlotte heads to bed, and Anna asks Jason to take Charlotte and return to Port Charles. She will get another hotel room so that Charlotte doesn't have to be around her, and will get back to Port Charles on her own. Jason tells her Valentin is to blame for his situation, and Charlotte doesn't want to accept it. Jason says Charlotte doesn't need Anna to avoid her. She needs to see Anna has made mistakes and is trying to hold herself accountable. Anna agrees to see this through, and they'll need to keep an eye on Charlotte together. They decide to stand shifts to make sure Charlotte doesn't escape. In Carly's office at the Metro Court, Sasha tells her that she's decided to decline her job offer and stay with the Quartermains. Sasha explains that she loves the kitchen and having her own space and thinks the kids need her. She is also in a much better financial situation and has negotiated a nice nest egg for her and her baby. Carly tells her there is still the matter of her baby's father and says Jason will never give her orders, never tell her how to be a mother, and will always be there for her and this baby. She asks Sasha not to cut him out of her child's life. Sasha explains her baby's father respects her and her choices, and it's the second greatest gift he gave her. Sasha knows her position differs from that of other single mothers, and she asks the father to step back. Carly says she may change her mind once the baby is born, as life loves throwing curveballs. Sasha promises that if she needs help from the father, she'll ask for it. Portia surprises Curtis at his office and brings up how Drew must miss this place. She is still shocked at Drew's transformation, but Curtis handled it in stride. She says he won, so maybe now is a good time to call a truce with Drew. Curtis says if there is a path to peace, then he's here for it, as long as the terms are reasonable. Jordan interrupts and is sorry, but says Drew is officially out of control. She fills them in on Cryptgate. Portia thinks they should stay out of the Quartermains drama, but Jordan says this is about Drew abusing his power. Curtis says the only thing that will check Drew is public outcry. Jordan is glad she knows someone who heads a media company. Curtis says she'll see what he can do. Portia begs Curtis not to get involved, but he can't let this go. He calls someone and instructs them to do abuse of power. In the PCPD interrogation room, Drew hopes Chase has a free cell as nothing can be done about Tracy's situation until morning. Tracy calls Drew despicable, and she can't believe he's Alan's son. Tracy misses her brother every day, but the silver lining in his early death is that he never had to meet Drew. In the station, Laura meets Martin, who says things are rapidly spinning out of control. Laura learns about the crypt fiasco from him. Chase comes out of the interrogation room, and Laura asks if the charges against Tracy will stick. Chase says they could if the surveyor testifies against her. Martin thinks this wouldn't have happened if Tracy had just given in, but Laura says she's protecting her family name. Back in the interrogation room, Drew tells Tracy he's sick of this family's hypocrisy as they've all lied and cheated, and all he did was fall in love. Tracy tells him that falling in love is one thing, but acting on it with his nephew's wife is another. She yells that he blew up Willow's marriage. He betrayed Michael's trust, and he hurt the woman who welcomed him into her home, Monica. Tracy says he doesn't deserve to be a member of their family, so why doesn't he leave town? He points out she's been kicked out of Port Charles by her family before, and it could happen again. Drew says he is still a Quartermain, and he will get his way. He taunts her that she'll be the one to end up on the outs, and he'll be the reason she got there. Chase interrupts as he says Laura wants a word. Drew exists, and Laura urges Drew to do the right thing, stand down, and drop the charges. Drew asks why he'd do that. Laura says it won't bode well for him politically or otherwise if he doesn't. Drew says they broke the law, but Laura says putting Tracy in jail is not the path to justice. Drew agrees to let Tracy go, but this is far from over. Martin warns Drew that he does not need an enemy like Tracy Quartermain. He says everyone else may be afraid of Tracy, but not me. Drew says, I'm going to break her. Laura goes into the interrogation room and tells Tracy she can go home tonight, but she doesn't think Drew is going to back down about the crypt. Tracy says she won't let Drew steal her family name or move her parents. If Drew Kane wants a battle, bring it on. On the Quartermain grounds, Gio is standing guard at the crypt, as he told Tracy he would. Emma tells him not to go anywhere and rushes off. She soon returns with lawn chairs from the boathouse and some blankets to stay warm. Emma brings up what a jerk Drew was to Tracy. Gio notes Tracy can handle herself, so she doesn't need to jump into this mess. Emma says her mom always called her a born crusader. Gio admits if someone tried to move his mother from her resting place, he'd probably end up in jail too. Emma wishes she could stay, but she has to get to her animal cruelty meeting. He understands, and she tells him to stay warm out here. At the Quartermain mansion, Brooklyn asks her mother what she hasn't told her about her child. Lois asks where this is coming from. Brooklyn informs her that Martin has an entire file on her child. He knows Dante is the father, and she told Martin that she had son. Why? Suddenly Gloria wanders in, sees the tension in their faces and asks, what in the Bensonhurst is going on here? Brooklyn says it's a personal and a legal matter. Gloria assumes this is about her baby. Brooklyn is shocked that her mother told her grandmother. Lois says she needed help navigating what happened back then. Brooklyn still doesn't understand why her mother went and talked to a lawyer. She assumes something is wrong with the situation her child is in. He's in trouble. Gloria claims she was the one who told Lois to talk to Martin. Gloria wanted to make sure they were all protected, and they decided on a closed adoption long ago. Brooklyn says things have changed, and she needs to know who adopted her son and where he is. Brooklyn quickly realizes Gloria knows where her son is. Gloria admits she does, but says Lois doesn't know anything. She tells Brooklyn she made the right decision years ago by giving him up, and now she needs to abide by it. Brooklyn says it doesn't feel right, and she exits. Lois cries to her mom that Brooklyn is heartbroken, and she needs to know that. Gloria says they can't tell her, as Gio worshipped his mother, so don't take that from him. Lois says Camilla is dead, and Gio's birth mother is here in this same house as he is. She thinks they need one another. Gloria insists that revealing the truth will only ruin Brooklyn, Dante, and Gio's lives. Brooklyn and her child still need her to protect them now. Brooklyn finds Gio sitting vigil at the crypt and asks why. He explains everything that went down. She joins him, and he says he knows why he's here. But why is she? She explains she needed fresh air and to clear her head. Brooklyn reveals that Gloria is here, and both she and her mom are asking her to accept something that is hard to live with. Brooklyn goes on to say she trusted someone, and they didn't tell her something they should have. She can't say anything else. He says she doesn't have to, and though he loves them, he knows Lois and Gloria are a lot. He says it must be nice having them look out for her. Brooklyn thinks he must miss his mom, and Gio does. Brooklyn tells him to remember he has people looking out for him too. She rubs his shoulder. At Maxie's, Dante explains Maxie took James for ice cream, and he's watching Bailey Lou for her. They talk about Rocco and Lulu's concern as the boy doesn't seem to be able to be in the same room as her. Dante's noticed it too, so something has to be going on. Lulu fears Rocco feels like she's chosen Charlotte over him. Dante doesn't think that's it, and he thinks Rocco is trying to give her space because he sees how worried she is about Charlotte. Lulu feels like she missed out on so much of Rocco's life and doesn't know how to parent a teenager. Dante says she's doing great, and she missed out on a chunk of both her children's lives. He says she's making up for lost time with grace, love, and patience. Dante admits if he was in her situation, he wouldn't be handling it as well as she is. Lulu apologizes for how their previous conversation ended, and so does Dante. He knows he didn't make things easier for her by defending Brooklyn. Dante tells Lulu it is a miracle having her back, and he doesn't take her being here for granted. Lulu says she needs to tell him something, but Bailey Lou begins crying, and he has to rush and tend to her. Dante brings Bailey Lou out and allows her to play with some dolls. Dante asks what Lulu had to say to him, but she says she can't remember. On the next General Hospital, Chase and Dante talk about their relationships in the sauna. Laura tells Curtis she'll applaud anyone who exposes Drew. Rick has bad news for Portia. Drew wonders if Willow is embarrassed to be seen with him.